My daddy was rooted in tradition, raised us children that way. Said you need roots, build a strong foundation, stand on your own one day. And Mama was full of wit and wisdom, taught us to set our sights high. Said the world is yours for the taking, so spread your wings and fly. They gave me wings to fly high above the clouds, roots to keep my feet on the ground. No matter what tomorrow may bring, I thank God for their love and the gift of roots and wings. I remember the day I was leaving. A tear fell from my mama's eye. She said, no, no, now, don't you worry. This is farewell and not goodbye. You gave me wings to fly high above the clouds, roots to keep my feet on the ground. No matter what tomorrow may bring, I thank God for their love and the gift of roots and wings. Sometimes I feel like a drifter, not knowing where this road ends. But there's comfort to know when I get weary, there's a place I can go back to again. They gave me wings to fly high above the clouds, roots to keep my feet on the ground. No matter what tomorrow may bring, I thank God for their love and the gift of roots and wings. Roots and wings. Thank you, thank you. That's a song called Roots and Wings, written by my friend Ed Honeycutt and Tom Tierney and Bob Kitchens, down in Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you for having me here with you. And I'll do another song that's sort of homegrown, you might say. This one was written with my friend Mike Hooks. He's from North Carolina, and I'm from South Carolina, and we knew each other in Tennessee. And he moved to Alabama and wrote a song called Alabama Moon. And he was going to make $1 million by pitching it to the group called Alabama. But I talked him into changing the name from Alabama Moon to Carolina Moon and not making a penny on it. And it's worked out good so far. Carolina Moon. I reminisce about the girl I miss. I left her home, now she's all alone. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. Stars in the sky accentuate her eyes on soft summer nights, chasing fireflies. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. I've been on my own too doggone long, got to share that moon with you. Sweet southern air blowing through her hair, homemade ice cream, front porch rocking chair. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. Magnolia night and a gentle willow weeping, one stolen kiss while your dad is sleeping. I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. I've been on my own too doggone long, got to share that moon with you. Magnolia night, gentle willow weeping, one stolen kiss. While your dad is sleeping, I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. I'll see you soon, I dream of you beneath the Carolina moon. Beneath the Carolina moon. Thank you, Carolina Moon. Great old song, and I've had a lot of requests for that over the years. I'll do another homegrown song here, too. I wrote this song for my good wife, and she's our technical director on our music programs, videos, and the like. And we've been married almost 45 years, and we are partners in every way you can imagine. And I wrote a song for her called Homegrown Love. And I wrote this with my friend Mike Hooks. Mike Hooks from Spartanburg, South Carolina. It's called Homegrown Love. There is a love, special kind, so many are searching for, so few will ever find. It's warm and friendly, it's tried and true. It's a lifelong love made just for me and you. Homegrown love, the natural kind. It's sweet and it's pure, like the fruit still on the vine. Homegrown love, it's a tie that binds. Homegrown love, like yours and mine. You can't find it on a bar stool, in a smoke-filled room, or in a one-night stand or a midnight rendezvous. Takes a lot of sunshine, takes a lot of rain. Once you've tasted homegrown love, your heart will never be the same. Homegrown love, the natural kind. It's sweet and it's pure, like the fruit still on the vine. Homegrown love, it's a tie that binds. Homegrown love, like yours and mine. Now you and I, we like simple things, like a silver summer moon and a golden wedding ring, like the sound of laughter and a baby's smile, knowing we got the kind of love that makes this life worthwhile. Homegrown love, the natural kind. It's sweet and it's pure, like the fruit still on the vine. Homegrown love, it's a tie that binds. Homegrown love, like yours and mine. Homegrown love, like yours and mine. Homegrown love. All right, here's a song now to change the pace just a little. Here's a song, imagine with me, you know, I grew up in the country in Kershaw County, South Carolina, on a dirt farm, and I'm across the field from my mother now. My wife and I went home in 1997 and built a house, and the 30-acre field between my house and my mama's house is where we had soybeans when I was a boy, and when I was very young, we chopped cotton and picked cotton right there, so I know a little bit about being a country fella. I'm a country fella. I said that to say, imagine with me a young group of country boys just getting old enough to start getting into trouble. And before you know it, they built themselves a little a little clubhouse down at the end of the cow lane so that they could go in there and do things they weren't supposed to do. You know, everything was a no-no when we grew up in the country. You can't dance, you can't play cards, and you can't do this and you can't do that. So they would go in there and do things they weren't supposed to do. One of them had a brother who was in the Navy, and he brought home a girly magazine. Oh, Lord, they going to heaven. They going to hell now. Anyway. Anyway, this is a song that reminds me of being a young fella. It's a song written by a guy named Larry Reynolds. It's called Linda, the sweetheart of our junior high. It's aces and jokers and jacks with one eye. Annie's a nickel and aces are high. Playing poker by the light of a candle. If our parents found out, there'd be a scandal. Then the tent flap flew open, and to our surprise stood a vision of loveliness before our eyes. Paint on her toenails and dime store perfume. Stand back, boys, and give Linda room. It's Linda, the sweetheart of our junior high, with her hair up in curlers and fuzz on her thighs, saying, "Good evening, boys, I was just passing by. Sweet Linda, won't you come inside?" Now being a covey of red-blooded beaux, we soon talked old Linda into playing for clothes. The evening flew by in a blur. The only one left with clothes on was her. But she said, "Now looky here, fellas, you know I'm your friend, and I won't send you home with your buns in the wind. So to show you that I ain't a creep, I'm gonna sell you your clothes back real cheap. It's a nickel for a sock and a dime for a shoe, and your shirt is $1, but your blue jeans are $2. You can pay me tomorrow morning before the school bell sounds if you don't want the word spread around." It's Linda, the sweetheart of our junior high, with her hair up in curlers and fuzz on her thighs, saying, "Good evening, boys, I was just passing by. Sweet Linda, won't you come inside?" Now Linda's in Reno, blackjack's her game. She deals for the house, but she wins just the same. If you want to find her there, my friend, look for a table of stark-naked men. It's Linda, the sweetheart of our junior high, with her hair up in curlers and fuzz on her thighs, saying, "Good evening, boys, I was just passing by. Sweet Linda, won't you come inside? Please, ma'am." Linda, the sweetheart of our junior high. That song was also recorded by, we recorded it on one of my CDs. We had a various artists, kind of a disc down in Charleston, and our friends that sit in on my country night. And so we recorded that, and who sang that? I believe it was Verner Jordan from North Carolina who sang it on that disc. But it was also recorded by North Carolina's own Mike Cross, and the title of the song when Mike Cross recorded it was The Great Strip Poker Massacre, or something like that. The Great Strip Poker Massacre. Hidden in my closet, right up near the top, back behind some records, there's an old King Edward box. Inside it are some treasures kept down through the years. No one else in this whole house even knows it's here. It holds the precious souvenirs I've had most all my life, like my lucky wooden nickel and my first real pocket knife. There's an arrowhead from a riverbed and Grandpa's railroad watch. There's a lifetime of memories in that old King Edward box. I don't know where it came from, can't think back that far. No one in my family even smoked cigars. It's just always been here with me and always will, I guess. I wouldn't take love nor money for that cardboard treasure chest. It holds the precious souvenirs I've had most all my life, like my lucky wooden nickel I got in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and my first real pocket knife. There's an arrowhead from a riverbed and Grandpa's railroad watch. There's a lifetime of memories in that old King Edward box. One day when it's my turn to go and meet the Maker, and they're sending me off to the promised land, my only request is that someone will remember to put that old cigar box in my hand. It holds the precious souvenirs I've had most all my life, like that picture of my mom when she became my daddy's wife. There's an arrowhead from a riverbed and Grandpa's railroad watch. There's a lifetime of memories in that old King Edward box. There's a lifetime of memories in that old King Edward box. The Old King Edward Box. That's the title song from one of my earlier CDs. I have a number of CDs that we've recorded over the years, and many of them are out of print now, but you can still get them online and all that business. So, anyway, glad to have you with us, guys. Let's do this one. Many of you are familiar. I go to Ireland every year, and of course we didn't go the year of the pandemic, but we go to Ireland every year. My first time ever was in 1997. But I play a lot in Irish events and Irish festivals, and in the old days I played a lot in Irish pubs. So we have a lot of folks who like the Irish music that listen in to our programs. So I'm going to do an Irish song. This one was written or was done by Tommy Makem and the Clancy Brothers. It's an older song to the same melody as the familiar Scottish song Loch Lomond. Anyway, it's called Red is the Rose. Come over the hills, bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll take the vow, and I'll be your true love forever. And red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley, clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. She's down by Killarney's green woods that we strayed, and the moon and stars were shining, and the moon shone its rays on her locks of golden hair, and she swore she'd be my love forever. And red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley, clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love fairer than any. 'Tis not for the parting of my sister Kate, 'tis not for the grief of my mother, 'tis all for the loss of my bonny Irish lass, that my heart is breaking forever. And red is the rose that in yonder garden grows, fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne, but my love is fairer than any. Red is the Rose. Tommy Makem and the Clancy Brothers are absolutely iconic singer-songwriter, Irish folk-type artists, and they were here in America, and they were playing the Irish tunes from Ireland even when the groups in Ireland were not playing them. And they became all the rage in Greenwich Village and in the American Northeast. In fact, it was the Kingston Trio and the Limelighters and even Bob Dylan who were going to their shows and emulating the kind of entertaining that they were doing. So they're absolutely iconic on both sides of the water. And Tommy Makem and the Clancy Brothers. If you were to pick up one disc, it might be the Makem-Clancy Collection. When we started playing the Irish pubs, the first thing we did is learn everything on that album so that you at least had that body of information and songs. Anyway, Tommy Makem and the Clancy Brothers. All right, let's do this song. This is a song that I wrote, and I wrote this song with my friend Bob Tobin down in Charleston, South Carolina, Sullivan's Island, South Carolina. Anyway, Bobby and I were at a songwriting event, and I was telling him the story that a friend of mine from North Carolina, when we had the recording studio in Charleston, a friend of mine was in town, and we went to have lunch across the street because there was a beautiful waitress there. Now, the waitress was tall, and she was young, and she would take your order, and she was very much fun to look at, you know. And she was very endowed from her neck down to her waist. But now she was not so shapely from her waist down, but and as guys would talk, you know, guys talk. And so I said to my friend from North Carolina, I said, that waitress sure is fun to look at, isn't she? And he said, oh, she is fun to look at, he said. He said, but myself, he said, I like a little swing on the back porch myself, he said. You know how guys will talk. Anyway, so I said, wow, there's my song right there. So I wrote it with my friend Bobby Tobin, called The Sweet Little Swing. There's an old farmhouse on the side of the road where lately I've been spending some time. Old Farmer Jones, he's dead and gone, but he left a pretty daughter behind. She got a mighty nice smile, she's a pretty good cook. Then I got to say, she got a sweet little swing on the back porch, and I showed her love to watch her sway. Sometimes I cut the grass, trim the hedges, anything she has in mind. If I get there about night and I time it just right, I'll be there for supper time. Then after we eat, we all retreat to the back porch, and my favorite thing, I say, I sure could use a little bit more sweet tea. I get to watch that back porch swing. Woo! She got a sweet little swing on the back porch. Lordy, I do love her so. There it is right there, I do declare. I do love to watch swinging to and fro. Her pretty blue eyes had me mesmerized. But then I gotta tell you folks, she got a sweet little swing on the back porch. That's the thing I really love the most. Last week after church, they invited me to supper. Fried chicken and tater salad on the side. Her mama handed me a piece of pecan pie, and she touched my hand and she smiled. Now things is getting tricky round the old farm place. I don't know what I'm gonna do. 'Cause her sweet mama, she's mighty good looking. She got a swing on her back porch too. Woo! She got a sweet little swing on the back porch. Lordy, I do love it so. There it is right there, I do declare. I do love to watch swinging to and fro. Her pretty blue eyes had me mesmerized. But then I gotta tell you folks, she got a sweet little swing on the back porch. It's a thing I really love the most. A sweet little swing on the back porch. Oh, I know. Some of these songs are just not politically correct. I know, I know. Here's another fun song from the country. I heard this song at a guitar pull in Nashville, Tennessee. A guy named Gary Vincent was a songwriter up there, and he had just gotten himself a new house that had a swimming pool. And they were renovating the house and renovating the swimming pool, but he had a guitar pull at his house anyway. Now, if you don't know, a guitar pull in Nashville is when a group of people get together and pull out their guitars. It's a guitar pull, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, he was having a guitar pull and a barbecue chicken supper and a swimming pool party all at one time and invited a group of us. And my friend Ed Honeycutt had taken us to Nashville. Can't remember why now, but we were doing things up there, songwriting things. And so we got invited to the swimming pool party, me and Bob Tobin and Ed Honeycutt. Anyway, we showed up, and he had garden hoses running for 3 or 4 different homes nearby trying to put water in that swimming pool. But he only had 1.5 foot of water in the bottom of the pool. So the swimming pool party was out. So in our flip-flops and swimming trunks, we had a guitar pull instead. And at that gathering was a songwriter from Atlanta, Georgia, named Pat Terry. He and his wife had written a song, and I heard it that night for the first time, and it was new. And it was later recorded by John Anderson, and I recorded it later myself on my River of Love CD. But the name of the song is Jump On It. I got a lot of requests for this one. Granny's on the front porch, spitting in a cup, trying to fix a nightgown that the dog tore up. Mama's old clothesline finally bit the dust. Brother got a broomstick, y'all, propped it back up. We could have had a dryer, a sewing machine, but Papa went and bought us a trampoline. Woo! And we jumped on it every chance we get. Mama and Daddy and all us kids. We ain't got much, but we got this, and we just jump on it. Papa does a front flip with his eyes bugged out. But Brother said the back flip, y'all, that's what it's all about. And now the whole town's talking, and they say it looks like some Kershaw County white trash circus has hit the neighborhood. We don't know what in the world it means. Papa says they're jealous of a trampoline. Woo! And we jump on it every chance we get. Mama and Daddy and all us kids. We ain't got much, but we got this, and we just jump on it. Papa says life is a crazy mess. Got to jump on your chances for happiness. We all see what Papa means way up here on a trampoline. We jump on it every chance we get. Mama and Daddy and all us kids. We ain't got much, but we got this, and we just jump on it. You got to jump on it. Jump on it. Jump on it. A lot of requests for that song over the years. And once again, it was written by Pat Terry and his wife, Pamela Terry, gospel singer and a country songwriter, based in Atlanta, Georgia. I guess he still is, I think. So, all right. I'll sing this next song talking about my growing up here in the country in Kershaw County. I wrote this song a long time ago now, and it's also on my album that's called King Edward Box. And it was remembering my old granddad. I used to spend every night with him. After Grandma died, I spent every night with him in case he got sick or something. Also, it talks about when we were young boys and teenagers, and we'd go out and get into a little bit of trouble in a small town kind of a way, and Also remembers a time when my dad, who was on the railroad, we would take my dad down to the train track at my hometown train depot, and he would stand by the track and wave his handkerchief, and the train would stop and pick him up. I don't think they do that now, but they did. They did in those days. Anyway, it's a song I wrote some time ago. It's called "Innocent Time." There's a place that lives on in my memory, and when I sit still, it comes back to me. There's a peace and a happiness that I only find back in the innocent time. Sitting on the front porch, my grandpa and me, and the wind makes a whistle in the chinaberry tree. Grandpa takes off his boots, and I run to get mine back in the innocent time. A haircut on Saturday, trying to sit still. 2 boys and a daddy for a $5 bill. And for 50 cents more, you could get your shoes shined back in the innocent time. Sunday was for church with dinner on the ground. When the preaching finally finished, we'd all hurry around, but the little kids had to wait at the end of the line and eat chicken necks and wings back in the innocent time. Then to the Seaboard Depot with my papa we'd go. He'd wave his handkerchief, the big train starts to slow. Then we run up and find our flat pennies and dimes back in the innocent time. High school afternoons, me and Eddie and Dave would hold down a table at the Elgin Cafe. The jukebox played Elvis and some new Patsy Cline back in the innocent time. 3 teenage desperados with the can of spray paint, and we wrote our initials on the new water tank. Then my papa found out, and he tanned my behind back in the innocent time. I said, "Papa, how'd you know it was me?" He said, "You wrote your own name, fool." And if I could cast only one wish on the wind, well, I'd sure like to see my old papa again. And we'd go back where I've already gone in my mind, back to the innocent time. Oh, Papa, let's go back to the innocent time. Innocent time. Oh boy, growing up in the country. I miss it, and I don't miss it. We moved home in 1997 and built a house right back on the farm, and so I still sit out by the garden or walk in the woods, and I still feel like my old grandpa and my dad are still with us, and they are, and my grandfather's father, who homesteaded this piece of land a long, long time ago. He's wandering around out here too, I think. You can ask Marcy Shore, the fiddle player. She came across a spook here herself. Anyway, neither here nor there. Here's a song called Southern Suggestions. Now, this was written by my friend Michael Reno Harrell up in North Carolina. It's called Southern Suggestions. It's about all things Southern. Now, if you're from the South, you'll recognize the references in this song handily. If you're not from the South, by Ned, the orientation will be useful to you. It's called Southern Suggestions. They're not rules, they're just suggestions. It's Duke's mayonnaise on hot dogs and ketchup on French fried potatoes, sausage gravy on biscuits and cornmeal on fried green tomatoes. If you're cooking a pig, you gotta start about 3 in the morning. And if you're going to Myrtle Beach, pay attention to hurricane warning. Honeysuckle tastes sweet if you suck the back end of the blossom. Fried catfish tastes great, but I only know 3 people at each possum. If you're plowing a garden, a little Ford tractor will do. Oh, but get a John Deere if you got more than an acre or 2. These aren't rules, they're some things we figured out. We make living easy when you live in here in the South. Now you don't order grits. You don't order grits, they just come anytime you say eggs. Clear fingernail polish when chiggers get a hold of your legs. And don't drink the moonshine unless you know where it was made. And never stand in the sun anytime you can sit in the shade. These aren't rules, they're some things we figured out to make living easy when you live in here in the South. Now y'all is plural, but if it's only one, just say you. It's all right to be Catholic or Mormon or Hindu or Jew. See, the Baptists don't own the South. They just use the name. And iced tea ain't for breakfast, and all barbecue is not the same. And of course, I'm from South Carolina, the birthplace of mustard-based barbecue as we know it. And as far as I'm concerned, it ain't fit to feed the dog unless it's got mustard in it. And I feel strongly about that. I don't care what them people from Tennessee and North Georgia say. If it ain't got no mustard in it, I don't care for it. Try to eat lunch where the waitresses all call you honey. Maybe one of these days you'll think John Boy and Billy are funny. And the fact that some people make money bass fishing is amazing. And NASCAR is kicking Indy cars' butt at car racing. Woo! These aren't rules, they're some things we figured out to make living easy when you live in here in the South. Southern Suggestions, written by my buddy Michael Reno Harrell. We've done a lot of shows together over the years, and it's time we did some more together. It's been a while now. All right, now, over the years, I've written a number of songs for my wife. We've been married, as I said, almost 45 years at this recording. And we've been through a lot of things together in the whole business. But, you know, just because I wrote a song for her that she walked down the aisle to when we were married, the first day of 1976. And I've written other songs for her and about her over the years. But you know how it is when you're married. It's not what have you done for me. It's what have you done for me lately. And so that's true. Anyway, so I wrote this song not so long ago, and it's on my, I think it's on my Savannah Nights. I have an album called Savannah Nights, Sweet Savannah Nights. So I wrote a song called Love is a Slow Dance right after we were married in the early 70s, in the late 70s, about 76, 77. And we were newly married, and we went to a wedding in Ohio. And it was Bob and Kath, the wedding that we went to. You'll hear that in the song. And, of course, we were a long way from home, and in spite of the fact that we both grew up in families and churches where you don't dance, we were a long way from home, and so we danced. My wife works harder than I do. There she is, behind the scene there. Come on in, darling. How was your day? come on out to the back porch and set yourself down. I found that red wine you hid in the pantry. Let's just sit right out here till that old moon comes round. Do you remember at Bob and Kat's wedding up there in Ohio? We stepped out on the floor. Oh, we were so young, and our first dance together. It's a shame we don't find time like that anymore. When love was a slow dance in 3/4 time, we would laugh just like children, leave our worries behind. When a kiss and some sweet words were easy to find, and love was a slow dance in 3/4 time. Before we got so busy with babies and working, we used to take a long vacation, just me and you, up to Tweetsy Railroad or down to Myrtle Beach with a mattress and a pup tent and a cane pole or two. When love was a slow dance in 3/4 time, we would laugh just like children, leave our worries behind. When a kiss and some sweet words were easy to find, and love was a slow dance in 3/4 time. Now I fly off the wagon, and you fly off the handle, and you fly off to Tulsa to make your mama smile. And I fly off to Dublin, and I fly off to Nashville. We ought to fly off together every once in a while. Honey, love is a slow dance in 3/4 time. Let's laugh again like children, leave these worries behind. You know, a kiss and some sweet words ain't that hard to find. And love is a slow dance in 3/4 time. You know, a kiss and some sweet words still easy to find. And love is a slow dance in 3/4 time. Love is a slow dance. Wrote that song for my wife. One more song here in this set. Thanks, guys, for being with us. Thank you, thank you. This song also reminds me of growing up in the country. I'm always telling people that everyone's related where I come from. You know, somebody is somebody else's third or fourth cousin's sisters, brothers, mothers. You know that. I tell people where I come from, Kershaw County. All the DNA is similar where I come from. I always tell people also, where I come from, Ancestry.com meets eHarmony. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it reminds me of this song. Many, many years ago when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as could be. This widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. My father fell in love with her and soon the two were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life. My daughter is my mother, now she is my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. Now this little baby then became a brother-in-law to Dad. So became my uncle, though it made me very sad. For if he is my uncle, that also makes him brother of the widow's grown-up daughter, who of course is my stepmother. Are y'all paying attention? Father's wife then had a son that kept him on the run. He became my grandchild, for he is my father's son. My wife is now my mother's mother, and it makes me blue. Although she is my wife, she is my grandmother too. Now if my wife is my grandmother, I am her grandchild. Every time I think of it, it almost drives me wild. Now I have become strangest case you ever saw. As husband of my grandmother, I am my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. Sounds silly, I know, really is so. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. That song goes way back, I guess, to Jim and Jesse and some of the other groups that did things like that in the old days. I think the song was written actually in the 1940s. Great old song. You know who sang that song a lot was Steve Goodman. Anybody know Steve Goodman? Riding on the city of New Orleans. Steve Goodman from Chicago. He and John Prine were great friends. Of course, in the next set, I'll do some John Prine and some other cover tunes and things like that. Anything that you would like to hear, some song requests. Meantime, I'm just going to do this one before we get a wee bit of a break here. I like lazy weather. I like lazy days. Can't be blamed for having lazy ways. Some old lazy river sleeps beside my door, whispering to sunlit shores. Up a lazy river by the old mill run, lazy, lazy river in the noonday sun, lingering in the shade of a kind oak tree. Throw away your trouble, dream of me. Up a lazy river where the robin's song wakes a bright new morning, we can loaf along. Blue skies up above, everyone's in love. Up a lazy river, how happy we can be. Up a lazy river with me. Up a lazy river by the old mill run, lazy, lazy river in the noonday sun, lingering in the shade of a kind oak tree. Throw away your trouble, dream of me. Up a lazy river where the robin's song wakes a bright new morning, we can loaf along. Blue skies up above, everyone's in love. Up a lazy river, how happy we can be. Up a lazy river, Lucy, May, and me. Up a lazy river with me. Okay, Carmichael. Stay with us, guys. We're going to take a break.